Hello friends, so we are going to start with the first session of this training. So we'll start with the introduction to the Android. So what is Android? So Android is an open source operating system that runs on a mobile devices like smartphone, tablets, smartwatches and Android TV. So basically Android was developed by the Google and it is the open source OS. So that means every code of the component of Android is open to you. You can check the code, you can modify it, you can use that code and build your own applications also. It is one of the best selling OS for smartphones since few years, and Android phones make up to 70% of all the phones bought across the world. So Android is really big into the market. Just like Android, there are numerous update Androids are giving which are similar to Android and which you will see in coming few years also. So let's check the history of the Android. So in 2003, when few people, a group of friends like Andy, Rubin, Rich Miner, Nick Sears and Chris White was co-founded a startup called Android Incorporation in California, and it is a Linux kernel based operating system. So they created this software, and after that Google took over the company and made some changes so that the Android can be launched according to the user need across the world in commercial phase. So Google firstly announced the Android in November 2007, but it was released in 2008, and the first commercial version was Android 1.0, which was released on September 2008. So this is the list of Android versions from the beginning. In 2008, the Android 1.0 version was launched. After that, in 2009, 1.5 Cupcake, then in 2009 Donut, in 2009 2.0 Eclair, in 2010 2.2. So if you can see, Android has given numerous updates in the similar year itself. So you can see how much vast Android was back then, and it is so much developed in 2023. So till the date 2021, Android 12 was developed, and you can find a lot of devices with Android 10, 11 and 12 nowadays. So Pie is and Oreo and Pie is very rarely used now. Everyone is giving so much updates, and Android 10, 11, 12 are most commonly used in commercial mobile phones nowadays. And Android development. What is Android development? So to create different applications according to the user need and business logic, Android has given you a chance to develop your own applications. Every code of the Android is open source. So you can use the SDK and you can use the components of Android to develop your own application. Okay. Now, since Android is the most popular operating system, Google has made the Android open so that everyone can learn it, everyone can check the code, everyone can download the SDK and develop their own applications without any license, just like other operating system they give you for. So this makes Android a highly lucrative and in-demand field. If you want to do something in Android, if you want to develop some application in Android, you can easily download the IDE, you can easily download the SDK, you can easily download the components, you can easily learn how to develop Android applications, and you can develop the Android application and put it on a Play Store. So every application has different business logic. You can earn money with that also. So basically Android is very easy. So once the Android was launched, Android was used in various fields like entertainment, education, productivity, and different fields. So let's start with the Android architecture first. So there are few components of Android architecture. So we will start with the Linux kernel, which is at the core level of this Android architecture, and the foundation of Android operating system is the Linux kernel. So Android OS basically runs on a Linux kernel. It is responsible for the core functions such as the display driver or device driver or Bluetooth driver, memory driver, USB drivers. Okay, so there are few things also which kernel is handling. For example, process management, memory management, hardware abstraction. So the Linux kernel layer is the layer which interacts directly with devices hardware. Whatever hardware you have, it will directly interact with it using the operating system. Now let's go to the platform libraries. Okay, so in platform libraries you will see media framework, OpenGL, graphics, SGL, SSL, SQLite, Surface Manager, and FreeType. So these platform libraries are developed so that you can take advantage of the platform, which is Android, and it has given you different functions, different libraries or different packages, so that you can use the Android operating system in various ways to achieve your business logics. So basically, media framework is used for your media applications. If you want to run any file, if you want to shoot a video and modify it or edit it, or any media related thing is used in media framework. In SQLite, it is a internal database of Android which Linux is using. So if you want to store some data in local storage in database, so SQLite type of database is used. Surface Manager is a different thing. SSL, SGL, FreeType are the things that are handled in platform libraries. The platform libraries is also used as hardware abstraction layer. So basically, hardware abstraction layer it will give you access to Bluetooth components or camera modules which will come in media framework, and in OpenGL and graphics there are few libraries which will be used to render different components which are view components in Android. After that, Android runtime. So this is the layer which includes the runtime environment for Android applications. So there are few subtypes into this layer. For example, DVM, just like JVM, we have DVM here, which is Dalvik Virtual Machine, then Zygote, then Android Debug Bridge, and core libraries. So this is the runtime, Android runtime layer, which will provide you components which are needed to render the Android components. For example, see, in the earlier version of Android, like before KitKat, Android uses Dalvik runtime. Okay, and after Android 5.0 Lollipop, Android runtimes became the default. So this DVM has been set as a default after that, after Lollipop, from the Lollipop onwards. So these are the components which are responsible for running and managing the execution of Android applications. Every application is been run on this DVM. Okay, and there are core libraries in the Android. For example, if you see the components of Android, just like broadcast receiver, intents, so these are different things. There are many core libraries which are doesn't come with the contact with the developer rarely. So there are core libraries in Android runtime. After that we have application framework. So the application framework layer provides higher level services to the user or to the applications, and it is provided using a set of system services. So what are the system services? So the system services are the activity manager, package manager, NFC service, location service. These all the services are running into the background. These are constantly running into the background of your Android operating system. So activity manager is responsible for the managing the life cycle of application, different applications, and just one simple example I can give you is that when you minimize all the applications, you can see a backstack in your Android phone, or you can minimize one app and open another app. So maintaining that backstack is also a work of activity manager. To open that app and to close that app, so every life cycle of that activity will go or will be managed by the activity manager. After that we have window manager. So it will display the application layout or application rendering or application UI. It will show you, and user interfaces it will give you according to that rendered UI. So that window manager is responsible for that. Notification manager, it is very easy. Whatever notifications you see in your system tray in your Android application or Android mobile, that is used using notification manager. Content providers is the different thing. We are going to learn about the content provider and location service and view system ahead in next few sessions. Now this is the last layer, which is the top layer of Android architecture and this is the application layer. This is the layer where the applications, the actual applications, are interacted by the users. Whatever user will interact with on the OS or on the screen, that will be handled by this application layer. So these can be pre-installed system apps or user installed app. Pre-installed system apps, the meaning is that your phone dialer or contacts or system setting or gallery, okay, adding or login an account. So these are the system pre-installed system apps which you cannot remove from your mobile. Also you can disable, but you cannot uninstall them also. And there are few apps that you can download from your Play Store. So like WhatsApp, Facebook, anything. So that will be the third party app. That is not called as system app, that will be the third party app. See, whenever you purchase a mobile, whatever default apps are installed in your mobile which cannot be uninstalled are the system apps, which are the pre-installed system app. Okay, so this application layer will handle all the user interactions with those applications, and this interaction is direct with the user. So that is handled in this application layer. Now I will show you how to set up the environment to start developing Android applications. So we will open the browser here, and we will open a link which is developer.android.com. And on this link this is the Android official website. On this link you can see download Android Studio here. You can see other features and information on this website also. So just like sample code, developer guides, quality guidelines, distribute your app, how to distribute your app, what is the latest thing, which is Android 14 they have given and different things they have. So we will download this Android Studio now. So I'll click the button and here we have the latest version, Android Studio Giraffe. This is the latest Android version. So we have the list of features they have given us, whatever features newly added they have given. We can see that try Android Studio bot, so you can use AI also, and theme app icon. So we will just download this. So it will ask you for this read agreement. You can read it if you want. Now let me download first. So after downloading this file, I am running the installation now. So I'm clicking next. So it is saying space required 3.4 GB. So make sure you have 3.4 to 6 GBs because you need to download SDK also. There are more components coming after the Android Studio. So 6 to 8 GB, 8 GB is maximum which you can use. Now I will install this in some other directory. Now my installation is complete. So I will start the Android Studio now. So once I start the installed application, I can see this. So here we will click on do not import settings. So after once the Android does its setup and initialization, it will show you this screen which is Android welcome setup wizard. So we'll click on next. You can customize settings and components install. So right now we will click on custom. We'll go on next. Here you can choose the theme. We'll select the dark theme. Now you have to choose some SDK location so that Android SDK can be downloaded into that folder, and whatever updates you will do, that updates will be downloaded into this SDK folder. Now the meaning of that update is new frameworks or new operating system versions or new development tools, whatever related to development. If you are downloading, it will be downloaded and added into SDK folder. Now what I will do is I will change this path to one custom path. So in my system I have set this path as the Android SDK path, and total download size currently we need is 1.96 GB as you can see, and available space is more than that. Now here you don't need to tick anywhere. Let the Android Studio download whatever it is necessary for the Android Studio to run it the first time. So we'll just click on next. Here you don't need to change anything, you just click on next. Once you click on next, it will show you what components need to be downloaded. So here total size is 1.91 GB. So I'll click on the next. Here you need to click accept, click on the another component, accept, click on the another component, accept, and now I'll click on finish. Now it will start downloading the components which we have selected for finish button. As you can see, the welcome screen will come in front of you. Now I will give you introduction about this Android Studio, the complete Android Studio. So this is the welcome screen. you will see the screen whenever you have no projects created, or sometimes whenever all of your projects are closed and none of the projects is open. That time you will see this window. Here you can check the projects, you can customize your Android Studio, you can download the plugins whichever are important to help you be more productive and more reliable and more fast in the Android development process. And there's a section, learn section, where you can learn different things in Android development. Okay. So I'll just go to the projects. You can see there are three things. New project, here you can create a new project, here you can open an existing project, and here you can clone a project from a version control system like GitHub, Bitbucket. If you can directly put the URL and the project will be cloned. Here there are more actions, SDK manager, import an Android code sample. You can download some code samples from the Google. This IDE, the Android Studio, it is called as IDE, Integrated Development Environment. It will download that automatically for you. You can import Gradle or other platform projects also, or you can create or profile the APK, which is a debug APK. So these things we will learn soon in some next sessions. So I will just create one sample app for you and we will run that on the emulator. So guys, now let us create our first project. I will show you how to run the first app in the emulator and what are the other components in Android Studio. So I will click on the new, and as you can see, here are 4 other different platforms on which Android is running, or we can develop the app for that platforms. So here phone and tablet, Wear and OS, which is for the watch, smartwatch, television and automotive. For different platforms you have different layouts. So we will go to empty views activity first. This is Jetpack Compose activity. This is with no activity. Here we need to create activity. This is basic activity. That means some basic components will be given to you, and other are different things. So we will just use empty views activity. I will click next here. Now I need to give the name to my application. So for example, I will write the first app. Now you see here package name. This package name is very much important. This package name is identifier for your application. On Play Store, your application can be identified by using this package name. For example, now there are some rules or some structure to give a package name. So this com dot the organization name and dot the package name or the application name that you can give. So suppose I am working in a company whose name is Zebra. So I am giving com.zebra, and into that company or under that company I am developing the app, the first app. So the name will be com.zebra.the first app. If I have some another app, my name will come here. For example, if I write second app, see com.zebra.second app is coming here. So like that I can have identifier for my application using package name. After that I will set a path where I want to store this application files. After that I will have language Java, minimum SDK. This minimum SDK is something the version name you have to provide here. And now if you provide 24, now below 24, if any device is running any OS on Android, your application will not work on that. So this minimum SDK you need to provide. So by default this is 24 Nougat selected. See, if I go and select Lollipop, it will increase the chances of this app running on multiple devices in the market. But currently a lot of new mobile companies, since an year or two, they are using Nougat as their minimum OS which they are providing. Nowadays you will not get any mobile with Marshmallow or Lollipop or KitKat. So Nougat is the something, the API in which there are multiple changes or very stable version they have given for the new things in Nougat. So that is why Nougat we select by default. And here in build configuration language I will select Groovy DSL because we are not using Kotlin. So we will do Groovy DSL build.gradle. Now I will click on finish. Now my IDE is starting or building the project. So this is the left side, the panel where you can see the project, all the files you can see here, and there are multiple options here. On the right side also they have given some panel. We will see this after some time. So let this Gradle build on this bottom, let this Gradle build complete first. So let the IDE create the project successfully so that we can start developing it. Now this project is created, and if we can see here, two files are created. One is the activity file, one is the main file, which is the class file, main activity.class. Okay, so this is Java file. See, on the left hand side there are few folders. I will explain you that now. So this is the app folder, which is the parent folder. Into this app folder there is a manifest folder, and into that manifest folder you can see Android manifest.xml. This file is the configuration file for application. So all the configurations are given into this file. Okay, so for example, so this is XML file. So for example, application tag, into the application tag they have given one allow backup property, which is true. They have given the application icon property. So here you can select the application icon. Application label, this application name you can select. A round icon, so for round icon, which icon you need to show, that you can declare here. Themes and everything. Okay, now whatever activities you have created in your project, you need to define it here into the activity tag, and whichever activity you want to start first, once you open the app, whichever activity you want to launch first, that you need to declare into the intent filter tag with the action, main and category launcher. So if you provide this tag into any activity tag, so that activity will be started at the first time when you click that app icon. Okay, so this is the launcher activity. Okay, and only one activity can be a launcher activity in your project. Now let's go to the Java folder, and here you can see com.zebra. The first app. So this is the package name we have given, and under that package it is there is a class which is main activity. So this is your launcher activity. Okay, so now in Android, every activity can have one resource file or layout file. So here in resources you will find all the elements which are the UI elements. Okay, so as you can see, I have expanded all the folders here. In drawable you will see all the icons and image files you can find under the drawable folder. Okay, now if you can see this file, say this icon file, this vector is created. Okay, see this launcher.background file. So this background they have set this, you can change this. So in resource directory you will see all the UI elements. Okay, and all the icons, they will be stored in the drawable folder. Now in layout you can see activity underscore main.xml. So this is the layout file which is generated. Okay, so if you go to see this section here, design, split and code. If you click on split, you can see the XML code of that activity. Okay, see, this activity is nothing but a UI or a screen which you want to show against the activity. Okay, so this activity is a class, right? So one activity will have one layout file which is activity underscore main for main activity class. Okay, so in Android you are going to launch this activity class, and this activity class is with the help of some code is going to render this UI part of that activity, which is nothing but the layout file. Now in this layout file XML language is used. Okay, so this in XML languages, first you have to declare the layout type. Now here it is a constraint layout type. We are going to learn about different types of layouts in next session. So this constraint layout they have created, and into that they have simply placed a text view. Okay, so hello world is the simple text they have given in the middle of the screen. Okay, now if you go to MipMap, you can see other icons also. Okay, so here you can see the files are XML, but here you can see it is WebP and XML both. Okay, so this is the launcher icon they have written in MipMap. See, the difference between MipMap and drawable is something very important to learn, but I will tell you in some other sessions, not in this session right now. Now in MipMap, if you see IC underscore launcher, so they have given different sizes of launcher icons. So if you can see here in bracket, HDPI, MDPI, XHDPI, XX HDPI, so these are the sizes on pixel. So our application, our Android application will first detect the screen resolution, and according to that it will pick up the icon which is appropriate for the screen resolution. So for example, this SSS HDPI is used in tablets mostly or in bigger screens. Okay, now if you don't provide this, your tablet will pick up one single file which is the default file, and in tablet your pixel will be stretched and your image will not be shown very clear. So for that reason you have to create different sizes of that icon. Now this technique I will explain you in some other sessions, in some further sessions. Now there is a folder called values. Okay, under the values you can declare all the components and resources you need. For example, there is a file colors.xml, right? So into this file you can declare all the color names. For example, here black color and some hexadecimal color code is hash color code is given, white color and white color code is given. You can declare your own color also. So I will just copy this tag and write orange, and I will write FF8811. So you can see orange color here, or you can choose any color from here and the code will be set here automatically. Okay, after that strings.xml. See, all the string variables will be stored into this file. So this app name is also stored here. So if I want to use something different for some other string, so I'm creating some string resources. So if I write content text, and if I write here, this is my first app. Now I can use this resource anywhere in my application. Okay, how to use that I will also show you. Now there is another folder, themes. In this themes folder, the entire theme of your application or activity can be set. Okay, this theme part I will give you more information about this theme part in detail in some other session. Okay, in XML these are the some configuration files that I will give you more detailed information in API handling. Okay, now there is one more folder here which is Gradle script. This section, it will define all the components and libraries you are using in your projects. Okay, if you go to this build.gradle, see there are two files with the same name, build.gradle. One is the project, one is the module. Okay, so this app folder is nothing but a module, and if you click on this Android name here, if you click on project, you will see all the projects here, your entire project and all the files. So into that project folder you have app folder, which is nothing but a module. So you can use multiple modules into your app. So this project is by default containing app module. You can use another module. For example, if your module is login module, then you can create another module which is login module. If you want to create registration module, you can do that also. Okay, so I will go to the module view. This is a module view, this is a project view. Okay, this is a module view. So into that module I have build.gradle. So these are the settings for my modules. Now here I will declare which plugin I need to use. These are the by default things. Compile SDK I need to declare, minimum SDK I need to declare. We have already seen what is minimum SDK. Version code of this current application which is being built, and all other informations. Now here dependencies section is shown. So this dependencies section will allow you to implement third parties libraries or any other components which are provided by Android. You can define that dependency here and use it in your project. Okay, this build.gradle is a project level Gradle. So it will give you idea about the entire project. Whatever configuration you are setting here, it will be applicable to the entire project, and here it will be applicable to your app, module app. If you create another app, one more build.gradle file with that module name will be created. Okay, now I will close everything from here, close all the tabs. Now I will go to my class main activity. See, in main activity one method is overridden, which is onCreate. This is a life cycle method. We will check into details about this. Into that they have executed one method which is set content view, and in set content view r.layout.activity main. So if you hold the control button on your keyboard and click on this, you can directly go to your activity. Now see, we have declared one string resource here, content underscore text, if you remember. Now if I want to use that resource into my application into text, this is a text view, and I want to set that resource here, right? So what I will do, I will write @string / content underscore text. See, your context text, this is my first app is coming here. Okay, so this is the basic first Android application that we are going to launch or run on an emulator now. So first we need to create this emulator. So see here this icon, no devices. So it is saying that there is no devices connected to the Android Studio where it can run this application, right? So what I will do is on this I will go to device manager. Okay, and here if you can see create device button, this will create an emulator. Okay, emulator is nothing but an Android device which is a virtual device on which Linux kernel and other things are running with the Android OS. You can select which OS you want to run. So for example, if I create device, see platforms are given here, multiple platforms, and multiple phone models are also given here. Okay, so this is used for development purpose. If you do not have any mobile or something like that, it is okay, no problem. You can create emulator and you can do the same execution as your mobile phone on this emulator. So right now I will select Pixel 7. Okay, now the size is also given here. I will click on next. Now I need to define which operating system I need to run on that emulator Pixel. So I will choose R here. Now here it is not downloaded, so I need to download this. So I will create on download button and it will start downloading. So installing this image for the emulator is completed. I'll click finish, and for your reference I have selected the x86 images and R. Now you can see is it available. I will click on next. Now this is the AVD, Android virtual device name I have to give. Okay, device and the display size you can change it here, and other OS options you can change here. By default startup orientation will be portrait and landscape, and emulated performance for graphics we will not touch these things right now. Okay, you can change device frame also, and other devices will be shown and you can change the device frame. I'll click on finish. Now here you can see our emulator is created. Now we want to run this emulator, right? So we will click on this button and it is running device starting AVD. As you can see here, instead of no device it is showing Pixel 7. So this emulator device it is showing. Okay, so for now I will close this and I will keep this window open. Here on the right side, if you click on running devices, it will give you this. On the right side, if you click on device manager, it will give you this. So now our emulator is starting. As you can see, frame is also given. Google is loading. So now we can see we have successfully started the Android virtual device AVD. Okay, you can see that it runs as same as your mobile phone. It has contacts, files, gallery, everything. Okay, and the controls are given here on the top. Now I will go here and I will select this pixel and I will click on this icon, which will eventually run my icon on this device. Okay, and we can define which module to run first. So here I am giving app. Okay, so let's wait for this Gradle build. So it will run it on the emulator. So installed successfully, finished in 58 seconds, and this app is being run on this device. See, this is my first app, as you can see, and this app will be available in this emulator whenever we want to execute it. See this, the first app. Okay, now right now I'm closing this emulator, and in this section you can see the running devices section. Okay, if you go to device manager, you can create multiple emulators according to your need. Okay, So this is the first app execution. This is how we are going to create first app. These are all the components of Android Studio, and we will see more things in next session.